Hello, 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 my darlings. How are you? How are you today? Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, my darlings. Let's see who all is here. Let's see who all is here. Okay. So, Jam is here. Hey, Jam. Cecil Morris. Hey, girl. How you doing? Seeing one, Dimples Wimples. Seeing these Granny, Adele, Sweet Ace of Silhouette. Yeah. Happy Wednesday. Come on in, everyone. Come in, come in, come in. Boy, it's been real interesting lately. Has it not been? Hey girl, how are you? Yeah, it's been real interesting lately. Been real interesting. And listen, there's always something going on astrologically, but I find that these recent events are very intertwined. So, hey 504, hey Sleepy B. So, yeah, come on in, come on in. Let me go close the patio door because it's very loud outside. And then we're gonna get into it. So come on in, talk amongst yourselves. I'll be back in like 10 seconds. Okay, all right. All right. So yeah. I don't even know where to start with all of this, but um a lot has been going on. A lot has been going on. So I think I will start with kind of touching on what we touched on before. I guess I'll start with the Trump's attempted, there was an assassination attempt on his life, right? Um, Let me pull up a chart because all these things that have been happening in the news lately, the Trump assassination attempt, the CrowdStrike global cluster fuck outage, um, even down to the details about the shooter, the Trump assassination attempt shooter. Even with Biden stepping down, saying that he's not going to run for reelection. All of these things, they have one main astrological event that connects them all, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to go over that today. So I'm going to show you all the charts, and yeah, we're going to get right into it. We're going to get right into it. So let me just bring this up. I need to, because baby, the astrology is astrologying. It is astrologying. So let me just start with, and I'm going to go over again, but we're going to pull up Trump's chart for right now. Um, and then I'm going to pull up the other subsequent chart. Chart one is here. All right. Let me present this to you all so you all can see. But yeah, come on in. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Okay. So, can everyone see the chart? And we're just jumping right in. We're just jumping right in. Okay, Donna says she feel like there's some type of ritual. Okay. Sleepy B says at this point she's ready for the next bigger distraction. Okay. Yeah, it's a lot going on. 504. Hey S&W 380. Hey girl, how you doing? But yeah, so this is Trump's chart. Hey Isis girl, how you doing? So this is Trump's chart. And I want you all to pay attention to this area right here, this midheaven area. This is his natal chart, right? Let me just open up chart. Let me go to my charts. I have a list of stuff in here. I have so many charts in here. Okay. Select as chart 2. Okay. So now you all can see. Hey, fuzzy girl. Okay. So Donald Trump's natal chart is this inner ring. On the day of the assassination attempt, down to the timestamp, 6:11 p.m., Butler, Pennsylvania. We kind of talked about this before, but I just want to tie everything in. Look at this. This lovely Mars Uranus transit, okay, is sitting right on top of his midheaven. There was, now listen, you can believe what you want. Was it a distraction? Was it fake? Was it attempt? Um, was it a real attempt? Was this a setup for um to try and propel his candidacy forward? There are a lot of conversations going on, but I have to stick with the astrology. And the astrology is that, per the astrology, there was actual danger present. Okay. Mars, y'all know Mars. Mars loves to come through. Mars is fast. Mars is, I'm just doing things. Mars has no control. Mars is danger. Mars is weaponry. Mars is death. Mars is unaliving. Mars is all of these things, coupled with Uranus. Uranus is fast. Uranus is sudden. Uranus is this BS that comes out of nowhere. Okay, put these two together, you are going to have a shit show. That's exactly what we had. Yeah, all goal, right. Sweet Ace's silhouette asked about all goal, right? And all goal is a fixed point. It's a fixed star, fixed point. All goal is always at 25, 26 degrees of Taurus. That never changes. I just didn't have it here on this chart. I just took it off of the chart. But yeah, this Mars Uranus conjunction, right? In Taurus, right? With all gold being there. That's is a complete um that's a recipe for disaster. Okay, it's a recipe for disaster. Hey Kevin. Definitely a recipe for disaster. And we kind of saw that. Again, whatever you believe politically or whatnot, I can't go by that. I have to go by um I have to go by the astrology, being that this is we're talking astrologically right now. I have to go by the astrology, and the astrology said, yeah, there was real danger here. Not to mention that this transit Mars was square, okay, square his natal Mars at almost exact degree point. See Mars here at 25 degrees. This is the transit. His natal Mars is 26 degrees. And this for him is Mars in the first house. The first house is you as a person. This is your body. This is what affects you personally. Okay, so this Mars square, okay, transiting Mars, squaring his natal Mars, in addition to the Mars Uranus Algol transit, which was a conjunction. This was, and like we know it was very public. This is his 10th house. This is the public house. This is the career. This is what you do for work. We know he's trying to, run and be president of the United States again. This was astrologically, yeah, this is here. This is here. Okay. This is here. This is here. And, depending on the transit, depending on, how wide the orb is, the orb of influence for a lot of things. And we've been kind of seeing this with this. I was kind of looking at other things going on in the news, me and other astrologers as well. So we're all having these same conversations, right? Um, yeah, but it really can move a week before towards, going into a week after. Okay. Going into a week after. But yeah, this right here, and the conjunction wasn't exact until July 15th. That's when the Mars Uranus conjunction was exact on July 15th. But as you notice, this assassination attempt was July 13th. So that was 2 days before. So that falls within that week period of, 7 days before. Okay. So yeah, these two getting together, it's a clusterfuck. It's a clusterfuck. They're just here together in Taurus at the point of algo, which made this even worse. So according to the astrology, yes, he was in real danger. There was a thought of real danger. Like I said, whether you believe it politically or not, astrologically, yes, there was real danger here. Okay. Something that I found very interesting, right? Of course, there are so many discussions taking place um all over the internet. Um I want to show you all something else. Would you all believe me? I mean, I'm going to show you. If I told you that the assassin, the would-be assassin has a connection astrologically to this as well? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let me show you. Let me show you. So let me just remove these charts. Let me open up this other chart right here. Um, okay, so Jam asked, does it show why it failed? I mean, personally, I think that it failed because Mars is not very happy in Taurus. Um, and Uranus isn't very happy in Taurus either. So they're not exalted. Neither one of those planets are exalted or domicile in Taurus. So they didn't have the full on support that they would have had if they were like in an exalted sign or an exalted house. So personally, that's why I believe that it failed. Okay, because they didn't have the full on power of like domicile or exaltation. Okay, but yeah, let me open this up. So yeah, so Thomas Matthew Crooks. This is the name per CNN, per all the news articles, per all the police reports, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This was he was young. He was a young man. He wasn't even he didn't even make 21 yet. He didn't even make 21 yet. I want you all to kind of see if you all can find the connection because it's there in the chart. It's there in the chart. This is this man's birth chart. Now, we don't have his exact birth time, but you can go on Google, you can find everything. Remember, everyone, Google is free. So go ahead and go on go and find the information that you need. But yeah, Thomas Matthew Crooks, he was 20. He did not, he didn't make it to 21 because he was killed that Saturday. But do you all, I want you all to see, I want you all to point out and tell me if you all can see the connection here. Do you all see this? He was born, Thomas Matthew Crooks was born during a Mars Uranus conjunction. Per his birth date, he was born during a Mars Uranus conjunction. Do you all see this here? It's an out of sign conjunction, but baby, that's 1 degree point. That's 1 degree. This is a separating, this is not an applying conjunction. This is a separating conjunction because Mars and Uranus were exact in conjunction back in June of 2003. I checked. But baby, he was born during the Mars Uranus conjunction. Okay. Fuzzy said, this is calculus to me. It's okay, girl. Just follow along here. So the transit that's been causing all of this trouble this past week was planet Mars and planet Uranus in a conjunction. So Mars is Mars is the war, Mars is the fighting, it's weaponry, it's destruction, it's fast without thinking. Uranus is shock value, Uranus is unexpected, Uranus is things quickly happening, Uranus is the bullshit that's going to turn into something worse. Uranus is technology, Uranus is all those things. So when you pair these two planets together, you are going to often get some type of BS going on. So yeah, he was born during a Mars Uranus conjunction. Now, how wild is that? How wild is it that the person that is stated to have been the would-be assassin of former President Donald Trump, who was shot at in an attempted assassination during a Mars Uranus conjunction? How funny is that? That the shooter, the alleged shooter, was born during a Mars Uranus conjunction. You can't make this stuff up. Absolutely closely connected. Absolutely closely connected. Yep. When I saw this, I was just like, bro, you lying. You lying. I had to go and look it up myself. I had to go and look it up myself. Even though Uranus is here in the sign of Aquarius and Mars has moved into Pisces, baby, this is still the degree point. You got a 1 degree orb here because we don't do the degree of 30 degrees in astrology. You don't do 30 degrees. It's from 0 to 29. So yeah, but this is a 1 degree. This is still a conjunction. This child was born during a Uranus and Mars conjunction. How you like them apples? How you like them apples? So, moving right along, and we're not going to be here long. We're not going to be here long. I just want to show you all these things because I feel like as our world is changing, it's always changing, it's always moving forward. There are always things happening astrologically. Astrology really is a study of history and seeing what the planets are doing in their retrospective cycles at the time. So, baby, it's real interesting. I've been up to my neck looking at different astrological charts this past weekend. But let's move forward to two things I want to show you. So, don't do that, Jam. Don't do that, Jam. I also want to know how ironic it is going back to Thomas Matthew Crooks. He was born September 20th, 2003, in Butler, Pennsylvania. From what I found online, he died July 13th, 2024, in Butler, Pennsylvania. He was born under a Mars Uranus conjunction and he died under a Mars Uranus conjunction. We can't make this stuff up. Okay. So, as we can see right now, the effects of the recent Mars Uranus conjunction has been tearing shit up. Let's move into President Biden. Let's move into Sleepy Joe. Let's move into Sleepy Joe. Let me open up his chart. I'm going to open up President Biden's chart. Just so we can kind of look at things before I point some other stuff out. So, this is Biden's chart. He is a Scorpio sun, as we can see here. He has a midheaven here in the 10th house, very public, career oriented. That's public facing career, so politics, all like that. Yeah. So he has a 12th house stellium, Mars, Mercury, Sun, and Venus all here in 12th house. He is a Sagittarius rising sign, which means the planetary ruler of his chart, that would be Jupiter. No, I'm not going to look into Kamala's chart because I have a completely different stream that I want to go over with Kamala, because hers is very, very, if we're looking at the astrology, Kamala right now is exactly where she's supposed to be. So I'm going to save everything about Kamala's chart and going more in depth with her for another stream. It won't be this stream. Okay. Yeah. So, like I said, this is Joe Biden's chart. The time is accurate and whatnot. Let me open up the day, the day that he decided to, he put out this letter. The letter was on Twitter. Biden is not going to continue running for reelection. So let me just go ahead and open up that chart. I have it noted as, and don't laugh at the name. Okay. I call it the Biden dropping out chart. Doesn't matter. We're still gonna roll with it. So Biden's natal chart is here, this inner ring. The outer ring is the day that he announced he was not going to continue running for presidency of the United States. Okay, so we have the rings, the discernment of the rings. Okay, why don't we take a look at what's happening here? When he decided, okay, so we're on this side. Remember, the Biden making his announcement he wasn't going to run, that's this outer ring right here. He decided he wasn't going to run no more. This is still under this effect of this Mars Uranus conjunction. The difference is that here, okay, here, this is an out of sign conjunction, but it's still a conjunction. There's only a 4-degree difference here. The difference is that Mars had moved on into Gemini. Why is this important? This is important because Gemini is ruled by Mercury. The mercurial aspects of things, communication, social media, social networks, um, conversations, the conversations, especially with Mars and Gemini, the conversations that are going to come as a shock. Mars moved right into Gemini. Okay. Not only did Mars move right into Gemini, it's still in a conjunction here with Uranus. But look, Mars is sitting right on top of his natal Uranus. This was a big blow. This was a big blow. This is for sure a big blow. Y'all see this? Y'all see this? This right here. This is still a conjunction. Still a conjunction. Not only this, so this was the main, because I remember I was in the room. Mr. Hoodoo was out here watching TV or something. He was in the living room watching TV. I was in the room in the bed, just chilling. And he came in the room. He was like, I heard him gasp, like, and he was just like, Biden's dropping out of the race. He's quitting. I was just like, what? I was like, you what? So I had to go online and look for myself. As soon as I found that out, I pulled up this chart. I created this secondary chart. We cannot make this stuff up. We cannot make this stuff. 504, you so funny. I'm not talking about I still pronounce it Uranus. You so silly. You so silly, girl. But yeah. So this shock, this news coming, that was a shock. Baby, this was a shock, and especially hitting the communication. So not only do we have this transit, right? This transit right here, Uranus, Mars conjunction. This transiting Mars is sitting on top of his natal Uranus, both in Gemini. What makes this even more funny, even more interesting, because I have to go look. What makes it even more funny, even more interesting, is that this is hitting him. This is hitting him, Mars on top of his Uranus, this transiting Mars on top of his Uranus. This is hitting him in his 7th house. This is hitting him in his seventh house. Why is this important? Because the seventh house, okay, is the house of official relationships. This is the house of diplomacy. This is one of the houses that you can pull governmental situations out of. This is hitting his seventh house. Okay. It is his business being president of the United States. This is where the things for a greater purpose for people, that all that is coming out of the seventh house. And this is hidden right here in his seventh. It just hit his seventh house. Just hit his seventh house. So all this coming as a shock or what? I listen. I don't know who has astrologers. I don't know who does, who doesn't. Again, but you literally can't make this up. What I also find interesting is that um, this Mars is opposing his natal Venus. Now, I've seen discussions about who it was that was really pushing for this. But being that all this is seventh house situations is this Mars, this transiting Mars on top of his natal Uranus in his seventh house. He was getting it from a lot of different people. He was getting it from Democrats. I'm pretty sure family members in his household was ready for him to be done. You hear the public saying that they want a different candidate. He was getting this from so many different sides. But this is, once again, Mars Uranus transit just been tearing shit up all week. Been tearing shit up all week. Okay, and it hitting him is it's perfect that it's astrologically correct that this transit, these energies coincide with his dropping out of the presidential race this year. Because it, like I said again, this is hitting his seventh house of business partners, contracts, official business relationships, diplomacy, um, communication, right? Because Libra is an air sign too, even though Libra is ruled by Venus, but you still have the airy element there. So this is perfect. This is perfect. Now, something else that was real jacked up was, y'all know Biden had COVID again, right? Is this like the second or third time he had COVID? Well, we can pull that information up as well. We can pull that information up as well. So we can pull that information up as well. Um, when did he say that he had COVID? He said that he had COVID. When did he get tested for COVID? When did he say he had COVID? It was within the past week. Okay. He tested positive for COVID per CNN. Okay. Per CNN. Let me bring this article over here so you all can see it. So, because like I said, this trends have just been tearing shit up. So let me show you all this article real quick, just so you all can see and see that I'm not making it up. This man, he the poor thing. He really does need to not be running. Okay. So President Joe Biden tests positive for COVID-19 at pivotal moment in re-election campaign. Okay. So this was July 17th, 2024. Okay. So let me see. When was this? Let me see. Yeah, Wednesday was the 17th. Okay. So he tested positive for COVID on this Wednesday. So now that we have the date, he tested positive for COVID on July 17th. Let's pull up a chart. Let's let me see. Okay, now you all can see. Okay. I just want you all to see here. Let me try and go in a little bit more so you all can see the date. But yeah, here's the date right here. He tests positive again. Test positive again. Okay, so now that we have the date, let's go ahead and pull up this chart. Let's go on and make us a chart. So let me present this because we have the date of July 17th. So let me go on and put the astrology chart back in here so we all can see. So, okay. So let's go here. Let's edit this chart. Edit this chart. And let's go to July 17th. Let's keep this like this. Biden gets COVID. Again. Okay. So let's calculate this. Okay. So now that we have this chart here, do we all see this right here? Let me pull this. Do we all see this? What's happening here? What's happening here? Is that not the Mars Uranus transit? What's funny is this is the Mars Uranus transit. This is hitting his sixth house of what? This is his sixth house of health and illness. You literally cannot make this up. You literally can't make this up. He got COVID again during this time, and it's hitting his sixth house of health and illness. Not only his sixth house of health and illness, but baby, that's the day-to-day stuff. That's the travel. Okay, that's your work schedule. All that is coming out the sixth house. So I don't know if he just has an issue with Mars transits, but poor baby, he Mars be tearing him up. Mars be tearing Joe Biden up. So yeah, this transit hit this man in his sixth house of health and illness. You literally cannot make this up. Not only is it hitting his sixth house of health and illness, look at this. This is Mars, is exactly opposite his sun. Sun is considered your vitality, your energy force. The sun is considered your vitality, your energy source. Okay? All that feel good energy, you walking around, you can drop it like it's hot. That's the sun. That is your vitality, your energy source. Baby, this man got COVID. Mars is absolutely opposite his natal sun at the same degree point when this man caught COVID again. Hey, Starbar. So I went and I looked a little bit further, and let me say, well, maybe this is just a fluke. So I went and pulled up, when was the last time he had COVID before this time? Let me go on and pull that article up so you all can see it. So you all can see it. The last time that he got COVID, that was 2 years ago. But yeah, let me go ahead and pull this up so you all can see it. So we can look at the astrology. So I'm going to remove this chart real quick, and I'm going to show you the last time he got COVID in 2022. It's this one. Okay. Let me go and show you again when last time he got COVID, so we can see. Okay. President Joe Biden tests positive for COVID-19 again. This one was July 30th, 2022. So you can see it here. Saturday, July 30th, 2022. So that's when he had tested positive for COVID again. So let's go ahead and look at the chart. So we see this here, Saturday, July 30th, 2022. He had tested positive for COVID. Okay. Let's look at the astrology chart and just see. Let's look at that chart and see. So let me go ahead and edit this chart. Let me present this in so you all can see. So we can all see together. Okay. So let me edit this chart in real time so you all can see. Okay. Okay, we're gonna call this gets COVID 2022. Okay, that was July 30th, 2022. Let's call it that. Okay. Let's create this new chart. Well, what do we have here? Like it's not even funny. Okay, so we see the date. We see the date here. July 30th, 2022, because we all just saw that article. Looky here. What's happening here? Let me pull this up. What's happening here? Is it our beloved Uranus and Mars transit? Why, yes, it is. Tearing his ass up again. 2 years apart. 2 years apart. Because the Mars Uranus transit happens every 18 to 24 months. So it's usually like 2 years apart. Sometimes it's, 18 months. Sometimes it's a full 2 years. But baby, this is 2 years apart. Once again, this Mars Uranus transit tearing his ass up. This man had COVID under this transit. Again, hitting him in the 6th house of health and illness. We literally can't make this up. We literally can't make this up. So Biden, baby, just stay home. Whenever there's a Mars Uranus transit, stay home and take your vitamins and nutrients. Because baby, you're gonna need the help. You're gonna need the help. Okay. Again, like I said, I don't think it was too bad because once again, it was happening in Taurus. It was happening in Taurus. So, like I said, being that the planets are not exalted, they're not in domicile. Mars and Uranus are not exalted, they're not in domicile in Taurus. It's kind of a funny place for them to be. That's why I don't think it was like that bad for him. Of course, he is the president of the United States. He's supposed to have the best doctors and care, blase, blase, blase. But I don't believe that it was that bad for him because they weren't getting the power. Mars and Uranus were not getting the power that they needed to be worse than what they could be when he had COVID. The reason why it was so much danger for Trump was because that was happening. It was in Taurus, but squaring his natal Mars, which was in Leo. So it had the power of the fire sign behind it. But yeah, so like I said, he had COVID again in 2022, July 2022. And baby, here we are, Mars and Uranus. Okay. Dimples Wimple said, I believe in no such thing as a coincidence. Yeah, we can see it right here. We can see it right here. So, what else did I want to touch on? Was there anything else that I wanted to touch on? Let me go on and CrowdStrike. Yeah. Let's talk about CrowdStrike. If you do not know, um, CrowdStrike, um, and it really for these people catching it and moving on, it really depends on their astrology. But yeah, I do believe that again for Biden that it hasn't been that bad for him because of Mars and Uranus being in Taurus, and neither one of them are empowered in Taurus. So that's my astrological opinion on it. But yeah, let's come on to CrowdStrike because CrowdStrike has so many people tore up recently. CrowdStrike had people stranded, flights were canceled, the groceries weren't getting delivered, the trucks weren't loading and unloading, people couldn't call 911, health services were down, people weren't getting the doctor's appointments or surgeries that they needed. CrowdStrike, right? Let's go on into CrowdStrike. What's going on in the CrowdStrike? So I'm just going to remove these charts because we got to talk about CrowdStrike. That CrowdStrike, and listen, me as an IT professional, as someone that worked into cybersecurity, baby, this was a whole mess. And honestly, heads should roll for this. But we all know how people like to coddle these companies and don't punish them the way that they need to be punished. But baby, when I tell you that this is an absolute fear of mine, the way that we just so depend on technology for everything, this was something that happened. This was globally disruptive, but it was able to be fixed. Imagine if something like this happened and it's not able to be fixed. Okay. So yeah, let's go on into CrowdStrike. So let me just open up my little chart and um let's talk about CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike, the security firm, the IT firm, technology firm. This is, you know, CrowdStrike's founding. Now, a lot of people want to, they do time of founding on so many different things. I think this time of founding, they were founded in William, Delaware. We all know about companies creating businesses in Delaware, right? Right, right, right. Am I right? If you know, you know. Um, we all know about businesses opening up companies in Delaware, filing that paperwork and all like this. But this has been one of the working charts for the founding of CrowdStrike. So let's talk about this chart for a minute, right? Okay, if we're just looking at this chart, um, and quote unquote natal chart, um, I think this is from this information was taken from when their website first launched on the internet. You can always look up that information doing a who is search on the internet, right? Okay, so let's look at CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike. Let's talk about them real quick. So CrowdStrike was definitely meant to be prominent. CrowdStrike was going to be prominent. Let me move this right here so I can see. CrowdStrike was meant to be prominent. Okay, their 10th house. Midheaven is in the 10th house. Okay, so they're supposed to be a leader. This is in Leo. So we have Leo energy, we have leadership energy, we have power. We're thinking about power and leadership comes from Leo. Okay. They're part of fortune. Okay, here in the 11th house, the 11th house is your networking, inventions as it pertains to science and technology, the internet, can also be found here in the 11th house. Um, all types of good stuff. So, invention in 11th house, networking, right? This is a security company. Security works on the internet. Internet is pretty much the networking of endpoints, right? So, we have networking, internet, invention, all this good stuff, electronic media, technology, all this stuff comes out of the 11th house. So part of fortune here in the 11th house. This is also in Virgo. Virgo is very detail oriented. Okay, Virgos, these are the people you're going to look at them details. You're going to make plans. So, okay, that's on part. CrowdStrike, moving things along. CrowdStrike has a problem though, natally. CrowdStrike has a problem. Their Mars is in Virgo. Mars don't want to check nothing. Mars does not want to check anything. Mars has an idea. Mars just wants to do the things. Mars just wants to go. Mars is cardinal energy. This is the energy that's going to jump off and start doing the things, whatever the things are. This is why there's great opposition, okay, to this down here. Okay, this is why this is great opposition. Babe, you supposed to be taking your time. You're supposed to be taking your time. But I mean, Mars and Virgo can lead to good plans, good inventions, things like that. But the Mars part of it, the just we just gonna do some things and who gonna check me, boo? That's gonna be a problem. So, like I said, CrowdStrike was meant to be this prominent company. And obviously, we can see how prominent CrowdStrike is because this was a global outage across so many different industries. So, CrowdStrike is prominent. CrowdStrike is very, you know, internet technology, 11th house. All this is here. So let's pull up the time of the outage. Miss Anonymous said, one of my systems at work is still not up. Yeah, because this was a fix that had to be done. You had to have hands on to fix this. So there are a bunch of data centers and whatnot that are off-prem, that are not on premises, and all of the system admins, the security people, everybody's devices are not on premises where they had to go in. I was seeing a bunch of IT people in the different IT groups that I'm in, and they were talking about like they've been up all weekend, they've been on call all weekend because you literally had to manually go in and fix a lot of these things one by one. BitLocker was involved, all types of foolishness. But we can definitely see, what's been going on. Okay, so this is CrowdStrike's pretty much chart. Now, let's open up. Let's add to CrowdStrike outage. Okay, so now we have the CrowdStrike outage. This was the event. The CrowdStrike outage is out here, this outside wheel. Well, what do we have here? Dun dun dun. Is that Mars and Uranus? This Mars and Uranus conjunction? Why, yes, it is. Not only is this Mars and Uranus conjunction is sitting right on top of CrowdStrike's Mercury. And it's so funny. I actually found it really funny because CrowdStrike, if you think about Uranus as a planet, Uranus is a generational planet. So we're talking about multiple people. Mars is a planet of war. When you have war, you have fighting, right? So Uranus, a group of people, generational planet, which is the crowd. And then you have Mars, the planet of war and fighting, which is the strike. How funny is it that their name, CrowdStrike, can literally be translated to Mars and Uranus? How funny is it that their name can literally be translated to the planets Mars and Uranus? I found that absolutely funny. But yeah, here we go. These two people right here, Mars and Uranus, shitting right on top of their Mercury, their natal Mercury. Baby, that's destruction. That's the sudden outages. All of that happening on top of Mercury. Mercury is what? Communication. Your internet. Communication, the social media, the networks. Yeah, Sleepy B said, Mars, let me go ahead and do the damn thing. Uranus, want to spice it up a bit? Exactly. Absolutely. Absolutely. This right here. Absolutely. So Mars and Uranus conjunction right on top of their natal Mercury. So this was, listen, again, I don't know who all has astrologers, who doesn't have astrologers, but baby, this was an absolute mess. This was an absolute mess. Not only that, but look, we have another square here. So these two right here sitting on top of this natal Mercury. But if we count 1, 2, 3, this is a square. From here to here is also a square, and that's the transiting Mercury in Leo. Okay, this is a square. So these two not only sit on top of the natal Mercury, but this is a square. This is a public Mercury right here. This Mercury is public because this is 10th house. This is 10th house for them. So the communication issues, the blue screen of death, all these flights are canceled. 44,000, I think I saw flights canceled. Truckers not moving. People, all types of foolishness. This was a very, very, very public issue that everyone now is aware of. This transiting Mercury is in a square with this transiting Uranus and Mars conjunction, which also sits on top of their natal Mercury. So yeah, Mars and Uranus transits again, they usually happen every 18 months to 2 years. So they're out there. They're always happening. But you really just have to compare. You really have to compare things too to what's going on in the news, right? To what's going on in the news. So yeah, this was this. Listen, this and make no mistake about it. Somebody had asked me about Kamala Harris's chart. Make no mistake about it. This Mars Uranus transit did something for her as well. Like I said, I'm not going to go over it in this video because I want to have a separate video to fully look into her astrology, how things have been working for her. Um, but make no mistake about it, with Biden stepping down, we saw how this Mars Uranus conjunction was affecting him, okay, in his seventh house, right? Especially, the seventh house of relationships and partnerships, including business partnerships, and being that Kamala Harris is his VP, that is a business partnership that they share. So him stepping down does affect her because they are business partners, right? President and vice president. So again, I'm not going to go into all of it with her on this stream. That'll be another stream that we talk about that on. But yeah, baby, the Mars Uranus conjunctions be tearing shit up. And it just really, really depends. I was looking into some of the history. I found earthquakes, I found tornadoes, I found avalanches. Um, Looking into past Mars Uranus conjunctions, but baby, this transit has been tearing things up. Good thing is that the transit is pretty much over with right now. Um, for this year, we'll see it again in 2026. Let me check my files and see when are we going to see this again. Okay, so the next Mars Uranus conjunction is going to be in Gemini, 3 degrees of Gemini on July 4th, 2026. So that's when the next Mars Uranus conjunction is. Okay. We'll see what's going to be happening then. But baby, like I said, the Mars Uranus conjunction has been tearing things up. Tearing things up. So, um, you know, no, Kevin, that was Obama. That was Obama. So, but yeah. So, I found all this information absolutely fascinating, and everything that we've talked about today. We've seen Mars and Uranus conjunction play a big part of the major news stories over this past week and a half. So, with that being said, I want to thank you all for being here because I just wanted to present the information today. I thank you all for being here. And again, astrologically, things are absolutely fascinating. So, Be sure to stay tuned to the channel and have your notifications turned on. And if you enjoyed the information from this stream, please go ahead and like the video. I appreciate it. Consider subbing to the channel. And yeah, the next time we talk will probably be about a little bit about this transit and the conversation right now, the major conversation on the internet, the interwebs right now is Kamala Harris. So I will say that there are some major astrological events taking place next month in August during the Democratic National Convention. So we have to see how all of that plays out. But for right now, it looks like for right now today, it looks like she's the unofficial nominee. Excuse me. Right now, it looks like she's the unofficial nominee. Um, and like I said, I'm not looking at things politically. I'm just looking at the astrology of things, right? And right now, the astrology, this Mars Uranus conjunction did do something for Kamala, as we can see right now. President Biden has, he's backing her. And we still the rest of this year is going to be very interesting astrologically because the softness of earlier this year, we won't have that later on this year. So it's going to get much more interesting, much more rocky as the year goes on. But yeah, so the next stream, hopefully, when I talk to you all again, hopefully will be about Kamala. I'm still digging into things um astrologically, but again, like I said, this is not political, this is just astrological information. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I love you all. Make sure you all be good. And yeah, share this with someone you think may be interested in the information. So I love you all and thanks again. Bye.